Hello, and thank you for joining me today as we talk about some of my favorite letters. We've got the Y's and the T's and the W's. These are different patterns meant for the shoulder. So sometimes we're looking for increased shoulder stability, or maybe we're looking to balance out joint actions at the shoulder, or maybe the shoulders are feeling a little bit cranky and we need some exercises to do that maybe will help improve that. And the YTWs are some of my favorites. So let's dive right in. So taking a look at our fancy cheat sheet here, we see that Y, T's, and W's are at the top, and then we're looking at those pieces that I kind of just talked about really briefly there, that they're great for shoulder strength and stability. Then we see that they're helpful in being able to balance out our pushing and pulling exercise, very specifically as it pertains to the upper body. You know, one of the things here is a lot of our life takes place out in front. You know, we're driving a car, we're at a desk, our hands are constantly out in front, but we're not doing a lot of work pulling back or retracting the shoulder blades, squeezing the shoulder blades together. So these are exercises that are going to help encourage that and balance out at least a little bit how much we've got our hands out in front and how much we're trying to bring our hands or our arms and shoulders back. So that's what I mean by that we're looking to balance out our pushing or our pulling exercises there, or the pushing and the pulling, the arms being out in front as opposed to maybe working to get back behind us. So, and this third item here we see sometimes can help with decreasing a pain response in the shoulders. Now, this is largely a byproduct of all the time that we're spending out in front, or the accessibility of exercises, you know, in particular push-ups. Push-ups are highly accessible. We can do them on the counter. If, you know, we have the strength, we might be able to work down to the floor. So we're doing a lot of pushing exercises, but we're not really doing a lot of pulling exercises, which can compromise that glenohumeral joint of the shoulder. So we don't have enough space for that shoulder to move freely, and then sometimes pain can find its way in there. So a hypothetical routine here for what we can do, and of course I'm going to demonstrate these movements one by one in just a minute, but just so you can get a glimpse of this, in case you didn't want to wait until the end, a hypothetical scheme here would be 3 rounds, 6 to 8 Y raises, 6 to 8 T raises, and then 6 to 8 W raises with a rest of 1 minute between the rounds there. So now let's take a look at what these exercises actually look like, right? So we're gonna do all these exercises standing, and that's another really cool aspect about these exercises, that maybe you want to do them in the middle of your workday, or when you've got that commercial that popped up on Hulu for the 87th time, and you're like, all right, I get it, Progressive, I still don't want your insurance. We can mix in these exercises right here. So the first one we got is our Y raise, okay? So we're gonna fold over as best we can, trying to get as parallel to the floor as possible. We're gonna have our thumbs up, out in front, elbows are straight. From here, we're going to raise our arms up as high as we can, keeping the elbows straight, and then back down. We don't want to just come up and then come back down. We want to reach up and continue to push that end range of motion there before coming back down. So we're raising up, thumbs up, elbows straight, not necessarily holding at that end range, but continuing to pull up as we get there, seeing if we can push just a little bit higher. The next movement that we have is our T raise, which again, we're gonna find that folded over position, trying to get as bent over as possible. On this one, we're gonna do thumbs up again, okay? This time, thumbs are out. From here, we're gonna raise those arms up. Again, keeping the elbows straight here, hands slightly out in front of the plane of the shoulder and not behind. We're coming out to the sides, elbows straight. As we get to that perceived end range of motion, just like we did with the Y raise, we're going to continue to reach up to see if we can get just a little bit higher there, activating those muscles and opening up the chest and the shoulders a little bit further. The last one that we have is the W raise. No thumbs up here, it's implied. We're gonna once again find that folded over position. From here, we're going to bring the elbows directly out to the sides. Then we're gonna rotate up, coming back down, and then back where we started. Elbows out to the sides in line with the shoulders. Rotating back. This is where we're gonna try to explore and see if we can go just a little bit further in that end range. Reaching, 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 coming back down, and then in where we started. Showing from the front here, elbows directly out to the sides, then we're gonna reach, coming back down. So that movement there is external rotation of the shoulder, which for a lot of us is a little locked up, or doesn't really move, or there's not enough strength there. So the W raise in and of itself is a really, really good exercise to mix in. So these are exercises that can be done as a standalone routine, you know, in between your commercials while you're watching Hulu or whatever it might be. Or it could be a good primer or warm up if your shoulders are feeling a little bit more stubborn or cranky before you do your upper body workout, or you're gonna do a bench press or something like that. And overall, just really great exercises like we talked about initially for balancing out joint actions at the shoulder. So one more time, just to kind of take a look at that hypothetical routine, if that's helpful at all. And there we have it for our Y, T's, and W's. Thanks so much for joining me today. I will see you next time.